Hey, what's up guys? It's Thomas DeLauer with Six Pack Shortcuts, and today I want to show you 3 of my all-time fat-burning foods. And these aren't just ordinary fat-burning foods that I found on the internet or anything like that. These are foods that I have personally used to help satiate my appetite and to help mobilize some of the free fatty acids within the body so that I could burn some fat. Now, those of you that don't know, I was 280 pounds before and lost a lot of weight. So I've learned a lot of little tricks over the years to learn exactly what I can do and how I can make my body burn a little bit more fat. And I want to share a couple of these secrets with you. And the last one that I'm going to show you is one of my smoothies that I use post-workout just a couple times per week. It's actually a plant-based smoothie that I think really enhances digestion and allows you to absorb a lot more protein later on in the day. But first, let's start with my personal favorite, which is coconut oil. So what I do is I take a tablespoon of coconut oil first thing in the morning, hands down, no matter what I'm doing. So whether I'm putting it in coffee, whether I'm putting it in tea, or whether I'm just taking a big glob of it and putting it in my food. The fact is that coconut oil is a medium chain triglyceride. And what that means is it doesn't respond in the body the same way that other fatty acids do. So you've got typically long chain fatty acids, and those get metabolized quite a bit differently. Medium chain triglycerides go straight to the liver for processing and get used as energy or transferred into what are called ketones. Now, the brain generally runs on ketones, so you've probably heard a lot of talk about people using coconut oil to help them with brain function or to get a little bit more mental clarity out of the day. But we also run really well on ketone bodies in a lot of different situations. So if you're trying to convince your body to run on fat for fuel, priming it with coconut oil is one of the best ways to do it. And a lot of times I explain it like a lawnmower, like when you're priming a lawnmower that's low on gasoline. You push the little primer button, you get the gasoline pumping, and next thing you know, it's running on gasoline because it's in the tubes, right? Well, the same thing kind of happens with your body. The simplest way to explain it is with that analogy. So if you prime your body with medium chain triglycerides where it gets used to running on fats for fuel, you kickstart your day on the right note and tell your body that that's the opportune fuel for it. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can use coconut oil, but I personally think that starting it out first thing in the morning is one of the best ways that you can do it. And I throw this in a lot of my recipes, and I throw it in a lot of my other foods. The next food that I talk about is unsweetened baking chocolate. And it's not that amazing tasting, it's kind of bitter, but there's some ways that you can fix it, and I'll show you how. One of the things I like most about dark chocolate or baking chocolate is it satiates you. It totally curbs your appetite. And even though you may not think of it, dark chocolate is a fat. But it's a unique fat, much like coconut oil. It's synthesized a little bit differently by the body. In fact, it actually affects how your body absorbs other fats and other carbohydrates later on. It's got some very unique properties. So it can slow the absorption of carbohydrates, consequently lowering your blood sugar a little bit. That's a huge benefit when you're looking to curb your appetite, you're looking to satiate yourself. One of the other reasons that I eat dark chocolate a lot is because it increases your insulin sensitivity and decreases your insulin resistance. That, again, helps with keeping your blood sugar stabilized, which prevents those rise and falls in blood sugar that can A, make you hungry, but B, ultimately make you gain body fat. And in addition to that, dark chocolate also lowers your ghrelin levels. So you've got leptin and ghrelin within your body. Leptin is a hormone that's secreted when you're full, when you're satisfied. Ghrelin is a hormone that is secreted when you're hungry. It's the hunger hormone. Now, in addition to satiating your appetite simply because it's a healthy fat, dark chocolate has been shown in studies to reduce the levels of ghrelin within the body, which means it actually stops the signal from your brain from reaching your gut to tell you that you're hungry. And one of the biggest reasons why dark chocolate is one of my fat-burning foods is it's got something called anandamide. That is something that gives you a sense of well-being. It's also been known as the bliss food. Unfortunately, typically it only lasts for a very short amount of time. We're talking a couple of minutes. So you probably have heard people say that chocolate gives them like a euphoric feeling. It makes them feel good. Well, that's true. And that anandamide usually doesn't last really long, so it's short-lived. But if you go with real authentic 100% dark chocolate, it's got other components in it that blunt the enzymes that normally break down that anandamide, which means you get the effect to last longer. Now, when you feel good, the temptation to grab other junk foods is not there. If you're feeling good and all is fine and dandy, you stay motivated. It's not until you start wandering and you start thinking about other things that you want to gravitate towards other foods. So that's one of the main reasons why I like dark chocolate. Now, if you can't get past the bitter taste, one thing that you can do is melt it down. So I take like this 100% dark baking chocolate, I melt it down, and I add stevia to it. That's all you have to do. You can even add some coconut oil if you want to make it a little bit thinner. Add some stevia to it to make it a little bit sweeter, and then pop it in the freezer and let it sit there for about 10 or 15 minutes, pop it back out, and you've basically got your own makeshift sugar-free 100% dark chocolate. So you're getting all the benefits of chocolate, but without the sugar and without the extra calories coming from the sweeteners. Now I want to dive in and I want to show you one of my post-workout shakes that I've been using for years that I do about twice a week to help the digestive system out and give it a little bit of a break so that it can absorb some more nutrients. So I'm gonna go grab the blender and I'll be right back. I wanna show you a post-workout drink that I do about 2 days a week, usually on my lower intensity lifting days. So I don't do it on the days when I'm lifting extremely heavy or anything like that. I do it on the days where I'm in like that lower rep range, in a little bit more of an aerobic state. The reason is because I want to get the maximum absorption of what I'm about to put in this drink. And I figure when I do it post-workout, it allows me to get that absorption of the greens that I really want. Now, I do recommend usually doing a shake like this a couple times a week because it's good to have one plant-based meal now and then. Now, I am not a vegan, but I do think that having at least 1 or 2 plant-based meals or plant-based drinks per week can kind of give the digestive system a chance to relax a little bit and digest something a little bit different. And honestly, I can't argue with my own results with it. So here's what I do. So I get back from the gym and I'm gonna take a couple handfuls of spinach. And this is spinach and some power greens. And my whole philosophy behind this is that if you can get your blood flow going really well after a workout, or maybe you take some arginine or you take some pre-workout where your blood's moving really well, then you're gonna get an awesome amount of absorption out of this. So no better time to get some greens. Now I totally just eyeball this. I use about a cup of unsweetened almond milk. And again, I'm going for ease of digestion here. And then you can use some organic agave. Doesn't have to be organic, but generally that's what you find. It's gonna be a low glycemic carb. So in this case, you're gonna have a sustained release of carbohydrates after your workout. Again, if you're doing a high intensity workout, then you probably want a faster acting carbohydrate. But since I'm talking about doing it after an aerobic workout or after a low intensity resistance training workout, I usually just want some low glycemic carbs. Now, personally, I'm not gonna use it right now because I'm gonna drink this after I make it. So I'm gonna make it low carb, which is another option. If you don't use the agave, there's only like 5 or 6 grams of carbs in this entire drink. Now, I use pea protein powder. Now, I don't negate the use of whey. I don't think it's bad. I use it from time to time, but for the sake of this particular drink, I think that using pea protein is awesome. Pea protein is a 100% complete protein, so it gives you all the amino acid profiles that you need to get the muscle growth that you need and support that lean tissue so that your body can get leaner. So in this case, pea protein it is. And then I usually add a little bit of water just to thin it out because I don't want to load it up with too much almond milk. And then lastly, if you're going the low carb route and you're not using the agave, throw a couple packets of stevia in there. And you're going to see how well this mixes. Now we've got it. So it's basically a green drink infusion so you can get the maximum absorption of your greens. It's a good solid complete protein, a good low glycemic carb, all easy to digest so that's going to satiate you throughout the day. Again, it may not be the highest protein rich drink in the world, but it's definitely something that's going to give you what you need to get a little bit more energy through the day and keep you satisfied so you don't have to run into the pantry and grab the food that you know you shouldn't. As always, keep it locked in on Six Pack Shortcuts, and I'll see you guys in the next video.